He smirked when I showed him the text to my daughter's 18-year-old friend. He said, "She makes me feel young again." My daughter stood there, frozen in shock. I just walked out. 6 months later, they showed up at my new office, begging. The look on their faces was priceless. You know, for third time for years, my life with Mark felt like a perfectly calibrated machine. We raised four incredible daughters, watched them grow into successful women with kids of their own. It wasn't just a good marriage. It was the marriage. The kind people looked at and said, "Goes." And then there's Annie, our youngest, a beautiful, popular senior, 17 going on 20-5. Her best friend, Bailey, 18, was practically another daughter. She was always over, at church with us on Sundays, at family dinners. We loved her, or I thought we did. But about a month ago, the perfectly calibrated machine started to make a weird little grinding noise. It wasn't a loud noise, not at first, just a subtle shift in the rhythm. It started with the movies. Danny, being a teenager, would often crash early on the weekends, usually after an epic TIKTOK scroll or a late night chat with friends. But Mark and Bailey, they'd stay up, watching movies, alone, in the living room. My brain tried to categorize it. Normal, innocent, HES just being a good dad figure to Annie's friend. But that justification got harder to hold on to as it became almost every weekend. It walked past the living room, heading to bed, and see them there. Just the two of them. The soft glow of the TV on their faces. It made my stomach clench. A knot forming slowly, steadily. This isn't quite right. A voice in my head whispered. But what am I going to do? Tell my husband he can't watch TV with our daughter's friend. It felt absurd, but the unease persisted. Then came the night I walked into the living room, maybe for a glass of water, or to check if Mark had turned off the lights. The TV was still on, a raw scum or something equally innocuous playing. But Mark wasn't just watching with Bailey, he was cuddling her. On my couch, his arm around her head nestled into his shoulder. My breath hitched. The air left my lungs in a silent whoosh. For a second, I just stood there, frozen in the doorway, my mind struggling to process the visual. There, just comfortable. Like family. Right? The rationalizations felt thin, transparent, crumbling under the weight of the image before me. It wasn't a casual lean. It was a definite, intimate cuddle. I backed away before they saw me, my heart pounding a frantic rhythm against my ribs. The image haunted me for 2 days. I couldn't shake it. The knot in my stomach tightened into a hard, aching ball. I needed to talk to someone. But who? I couldn't confront Mark. Not yet. Not without knowing more. The only person I could think of was Annie. Maybe she knew something. Maybe she could explain it away. So 2 days ago, I sat Annie down. "Hey honey," I started, trying to keep my voice light. "Have you noticed how much time Bailey and Dad spend watching movies together after you go to bed?" I watched her face, her brow furrowed. "Really?" she asked, genuinely surprised. No, I had no clue. That's weird. The relief that Annie wasn't in on it was quickly replaced by a fresh wave of alarm. She confirmed my intuition. This wasn't normal. "I'm going to talk to Bailey," Annie declared, her eyes narrowing slightly. "That makes me super uncomfortable." My heart sank a little deeper, knowing that this situation was now spilling over into Annie's world. Then, as if the universe decided I hadn't had enough to process, Annie added, almost casually, "You know, this kinda reminds me of something else Bailey did. She told me about another friend's dad, how Bailey would get him alone, talk badly about his wife, clearly trying to manipulate him, to trick him into sleeping with her. As he put it, the pieces clicked. The unease, the cuddling, Danny's genuine ignorance. And now this sordid history. It was just a weird vibe anymore. It was a pattern. What is going on here? And what am I supposed to do now? My mind raced, grappling with the implications. I felt a cold dread creeping in, but also a growing determination to uncover the truth. I needed to know what I was truly up against, for my own sanity, and for Annie. This is the end of part 1. What do you guys think? Is my gut feeling right? Or am I just being an overprotective mom letting my imagination run wild? I really need some outside perspective here. For the next day, I walked around my own house like a ghost. Annie's story about Bailey's past behavior echoed in my head, overlaying every interaction I saw. A casual laugh between Mark and Bailey in the kitchen wasn't just a laugh anymore. It was a secret language I couldn't understand. The machine wasn't just grinding now. It was screaming. My intuition, the one that had guided me through raising 4 kids and navigating third eye for years of life, was blaring like a fire alarm. I knew going through his phone was a massive invasion of privacy, a line we'd never crossed. But a woman's intuition isn't just a feeling. It's a survival mechanism. And right now, I felt like I was fighting for survival. So this morning, I did it. I waited until the first hint of dawn. The sky a faint gray outside our window. Mark was sound asleep. His breathing deepened even. The sound used to comfort me. Now, it just made my skin crawl. I slipped out of bed, my feet cold on the hardwood floor. My heart was a frantic drum against my ribs. I picked up his phone from the nightstand. It felt unnaturally heavy in my trembling hand, like a little black brick loaded with secrets. I went into the bathroom, closing the door as silently as I could, and sat on the edge of the tub. The screen lit up, blindingly bright in the dim room. I took a steadying breath, my mind racing. What am I doing? This could blow up everything. But what if there's nothing? What if I'm wrong? I almost put it back, but the image of them cuddling on my couch flashed in my mind. I typed in his passcode. Our anniversary, of course, and my finger hovered over the green message icon. I clicked it. My eyes scanned the list of recent conversations, and there it was. Eye contact simply labeled Bailey. No last name, no emojis, just Bailey. I tapped on it, my stomach twisting into a painful knot. The message history loaded, and the world tilted on its axis. It wasn't a long thread, which was almost worse. It was calculated. It was clean. There were only 2 recent messages that mattered. The first was from Mark. It said, "I can't wait to do it again next weekend." That winking emoji. It wasn't a joke. It was a confirmation, a shared secret. It felt like HED sent it directly to me, a smug little digital slap in the face. My brain tried to process the words, but then I saw her reply, sent just moments after his. Bailey's message read, "I can't wait till you're out of that place and we can do it every day." Out of that place. The words hung in the airless bathroom. She didn't mean the office. She didn't mean the gym. She meant my home. Our home. The home I built. The home I raised my children in. In that instant, the floor dropped out from under me. This wasn't a flirtation. This wasn't a mistake. This was a plan. An escape plan. My third F-year marriage wasn't just crap. It was a demolition site. And I was just now seeing the blueprints for its destruction. I snapped the phone shut, the click echoing in the silence. I sat there on the cold porcelain, the phone in my lap, feeling nothing and everything all at once. So now I have it. Concrete, undeniable proof. But having the truth is so much heavier than just having the suspicion. I haven't said a word. He's downstairs making coffee like it's any other day. My biggest problem is Annie. She's getting ready for school. Probably texting Bailey right now. How do I blow up my husband's life without detonating hers in the process? What am I supposed to do now? This morning was the most surreal experience of my life. I put his phone back on the nightstand and crawled back into bed, my body rigid. A few hours later, Mark's alarm went off. He rolled over, just like he has for 34 years, and kissed my cheek. It was a simple, automatic gesture, but today it felt like a brand, a hot press of deceit against my skin. Morning, hun, he mumbled, and then he was up, starting the coffee, turning on the news. The routine was the same, but the reality was fractured. Every normal sound, the coffee maker gurgling, the clink of his spoon against his mug, the low drone of the TV, was a lie. He was performing his role as my husband, and I was performing my role as his unsuspecting wife. I'm living in a two-person play, and I'm the only one who's read the full script. HES talking about getting the car's oil changed this weekend. Next weekend. His text message screams in my mind. I can't wait to do it again next weekend. Is he planning to see her then? I just nod, my throat too tight to form words. My mind keeps replaying the confrontation scenarios, and every single one ends in a catastrophe for Annie. If I confront Mark, his whole thing blows up. He can't deny the texts. The immediate result is that Bailey is exposed. She is no longer just Annie's quirky best friend. She is the 18-year-old who slept with her best friend's 58-year-old dad. This isn't just gossip. This is the kind of scandal that will define the rest of Annie's senior year. She'll be the girl whose dad cheated with her best friend. She'll lose her best friend, her father's reputation, and the sanctity of her own home all at once. How does a 17-year-old even begin to process that level of betrayal from the two people she's supposed to trust the most after me? Then there's the marriage. 30-4 years. It feels insane to even think about that number now. It's not just a number. It's our entire adult lives. Our home, our shared history, our other daughters, our grandkids, the man I thought I knew, the one who held my hand when our first daughter was born, the one who cried at her wedding. Does he even exist anymore? Confronting him means acknowledging that he doesn't. It means taking a sledgehammer to the foundation of our entire family. I'm standing here with the proof in my head, and I feel utterly paralyzed by the fallout. The truth is a weapon, and if I use it, my daughter is standing directly in the line of fire. So here is my impossible situation. I want to scream at him. I want to throw his phone against the wall and demand he explain how he could do this to us. To me. But I look at Annie, laughing at something on her phone before school, so blissfully unaware that her world is about to implode. And I can't move. I can't speak. I'm frozen between my own need for justice and my instinct to protect my child. What do I do? How do I even start this conversation? Is there a way to confront him and get the truth without completely destroying my daughter's life in the process? Do I protect her? Or do I protect myself? Because right now, I don't think I can do both.